Okay, so we are live now. Hi, everyone. So, if you can hear us loud and clear, if you can write us in the comment section that you can hear us loud and clear, we have Prithvi with us today as the mentor of this project. Hi, Prithvi. How are you doing today?
I'm doing good. How about you?
I'm good. I'm good. And from which city you are joining in today, Prithvi? Today?
I'm joining in from Austin, Texas.
Okay, great. So, right now I am in Toronto.
Oh, fantastic.
Okay.
Uh-huh.
So, how is weather in Texas today?
It had been good actually because it was raining for a few days, but now it's again getting back to being hot. But it should just be like that for maybe another 2 to 3 weeks because it's summer. Once summer's done, Texas is the best place to be.
Okay.
What about in Toronto?
Toronto, as you know, Canada is known for its chilling environment, but luckily this year, the like we have a good weather from last 2 months, 2.5 months, and I expect next 1.5 month will be like this before we see everything white,
Got it.
everything snowy. So, guys, if you are here and you are watching us live today for this event, if you can let us know in the comment section that you can hear us loud and clear, that would be great. So, let me just check it on YouTube that we are live or not. Let me check that. Okay. Yeah. So, we are live on YouTube. There is no problem at all over here. And I guess we are live on LinkedIn as well. So, let me check that. So how in what role you are working right now, Prithvi, and how's your job going?
Sure, absolutely. So I'm a business analyst at HEB. So HEB is like Texas is like largest grocery independent and independently owned grocery retailer.
Mhm.
We are direct competitors like Walmart and Target and all your big retailers. And so what I do there is I'm business analyst. So though it's a business analyst, it's very much a data analyst type role where I primarily deal with like stakeholders on where I deal with stakeholder requests on like anything from it can be reporting, dashboarding requirements, even basic data availability, right? So they may need data for to conduct like various areas to build insights on various areas of the business, right? Because we want to track metrics because retail's a big business and
Correct.
it's a penny business. So essentially where you have to constantly you have to keep like the profits are always going to be minimal. So how do we use data to build on revenue and also increase bottom lines? And
So
I primarily deal with
I guess
accounting and
one
finance.
one common question which we always get in this role is that as a business analyst, how much coding you exactly do? Like, do you do coding, or you're not supposed to do code, and you only like work on Excel sheets? Because the like this is one of the common question that how much coding we are supposed to do. Uh,
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely, Amit. That's a very common question, and it's a great question, right? Because the answer to this, it's just simply that it's very dependent on the business problem you get,
Mhm.
right? Some business problems may just require to do a quick VLOOKUP on Excel, right, or a pivot table on Excel to just get to the brass tacks of the insights. But sometimes you may also have to like join various data sources, which may be in a data warehouse. So those you'll have to use SQL. So I would say obviously it's not as much as what you'd expect in like a software engineering type role,
Mhm.
but you'll have to still understand the basics of like SQL and even sometimes Excel. So that's my long answer short. Anything that helps you get to the final result, which can
Okay.
be in the form of SQL or Excel or Python.
Okay, great. And so, how was your job search journey? Like once you graduated, how was your job search journey? Is what tough, or what tips you believe we should be following? Because I guess right now there is a tough market, and every day we get the similar kind of question: Hey, what I can do different to land
Yeah.
into a job? Yeah.
Of course, yeah. So it's always going to be, it's not just like, okay, you having the skill sets, right? So one is skill sets. But in today's world and being in a very connected world and with a lot of available resources, right? It's not just skills that matter. It's about how you can show yourselves. How can you leverage yourself, right? Your strengths, right? to land that position. Because to give you an example about me, right, what I ended up doing was I realized beyond a point that it's not just like knowing R, Python, SQL. I started really leveraging my work experience for back from India. I was in Cognizant for 2 years before I did my masters. So leveraging that work experience, and I combined that with all the projects that I had done at university, be
Mm.
it like in terms of Kaggle projects. It was simple projects, right? It was sometimes Kaggle projects. It was also university assignments that I did, but it was about how I portrayed them on my resume in order to land those roles. And that's kind of what really helped me. And also really networking with industry professionals using LinkedIn, right? I set up coffee chats. I did a lot of these things, and I realized it was a conversion game. So that's what really is going to help people.
So I guess, today, you're absolutely right. It is not only about how much skill you possess; it is also about how you are able to explain it to anyone, how you can showcase it. I would say,
Exactly.
we are living in a world where sales, even persons are like products. So
Yep.
we have to market ourselves to sell, to get sold into market, right?
Exactly. It's
Okay.
and that's absolutely correct, because you see the thing that companies want to know is like what is the value proposition that you can give them.
Yes, that is, I would say, that is the right line. Just like any product, just like any product.
Yeah.
Okay, so let's start today's session, and I'll just let me share my screen. Okay, can you see my screen now?
Hmm.
Okay, so let us start with your introduction. So Prithvi, you can go and give us a detailed introduction about yourself.
Okay. Hi, all. My name is Prithvi Shivashankar, and I'm a senior business analyst at HEB. And as I mentioned, Texas's largest grocery retailer. And before I worked at HEB, I was a graduate student at UT Dallas. I did my master's in business analytics with a focus on data science and business intelligence. During my time there, I did two internships. One at an ed tech company called Capella, and another at a company called Crayon Software Experts. And both those times, I focused on data analytics and business intelligence, reporting, dashboarding type projects, focused on basically revenue generation, and then focused on avenues for revenue generation. Aside from that, prior to doing that, I was a programmer, application programmer at Cognizant. So and while during my time at Cognizant, that's when I was in the IT sector. I saw a lot of use of data. Right, being in the offshore side of things, I saw a lot of use of data, and how working. I worked on compliance projects with the European banks, and that's where my whole data journey started. And it's been a great ride, because my undergrad was in mechanical, and then I moved into the IT sector, and then from IT I moved into data analytics. So all around, no complaints, but it's definitely been a lot of changes, but it's definitely been a great ride.
And I guess one question which
Mhm.
everybody asks in every live session is it possible to transition career? So I guess your case is the very right example that people from software industry can thrive in data as well. This is a very common question.
Oh yeah, absolutely. You absolutely can, right? It's very possible to change careers, because and it just sometimes it just takes that first step, right? Because what ends up happening is many times people will say, okay, fine, I'm in this field. I don't think I can change, because believe me, it happened to me. All right, I was a mechanical engineer, and I thought my field stayed in mechanical, but after mechanical, moving into IT, and then once I came into IT, right, a lot of like doors ended up opening up, right, a lot of doors opened up for me. And moving into data analytics itself for my masters, that just I realized that there are so many different career opportunities, right? You have data science, you've got data analytics, you've got business intelligence, you've got business analyst, you've got even data engineering. So
Engineers, yes.
yeah.
Okay. And one question which I would like to ask you, Prithvi, that how, um, as a, like, because a lot of fresh students, like, maybe graduating this year, like, or
Yeah.
they are pursuing something into data. So what would be your suggestion that if somebody is graduating or is into studies right now, how they should be building their profile so that they like they can target bigger companies?
Sure. So, of course, so if you don't have the experience, right, my suggestion is always doing projects, right? And I would never say do a simple Titanic data set, right? I would say build on like real like projects where the data sets are tough, because the data sets rarely ever clean. The data set is always going to be messy, right? And you're always going to get these kind of ambiguous requests. So you have to really take those to your consideration, and really challenge yourself to build on these projects. And I would say also post results, like focus on what is the value that you're adding, right? What were the insights you gathered from that project? It doesn't matter whether you do SQL or Python. How do you take that? Even Google, use Chat GPT, use all that, get to the result, derive those insights, post those insights on LinkedIn to showcase that, to showcase yourself as an expert in this field.
Okay. And so how much this like lead code or is such platforms with so many coding questions they help you? Did you also try that while doing into your while you're studying?
Oh yeah, absolutely. I used Lead Code, right? See, Lead Code, and such platforms really did help me, because yeah, I remember. See, back in 2020, because that was the time I was graduating. I got multiple interviews, right? Primarily through my networking, I got multiple interviews
That
from
was a
like
different time.
Citibank. Yeah, that was a different time.
Different
Agreed, it
time.
was a different time.
Different time.
But Amit, one thing to always note is there's going to be challenges no matter what, right?
Yes.
There's going to be some form of a challenge.
Some
At
form.
that time, to be honest with you, though it was a different time at that time,
Mhm.
right? During the time I was graduating, everywhere it was a hiring freeze because it was peak pandemic. So
Yes.
it was a complete hiring freeze. Like the things picked up only August, September. But during the time I was graduating, it was a complete hiring freeze. So at that time, it was really tough. And so what I did was I really tapped into my network. I got interviews at Amazon, Citibank, Uber, all these. They had coding routes. They did have coding routes from SQL. Stuff like Lead Code, and Hacker Rank, and all these coding platforms helped. I went on, practiced, and really tried, and I was able to clear those runs. In fact, after that.
Okay, let's move on, and I'll give you a little bit about my introduction. So, my name is Dr. Amit. I'm the head of business operations at High Counselor. I did my bachelor's into computer science, and after that, I did my MBA program into marketing and human resources. I did my PhD program into marketing research, and I was an alumni of Research Summer School at IMA. I worked with different companies back in India. I worked with companies like Wipro, Reliance, and ICICI Bank. Then I went into teaching. I worked for more than 10 years into government colleges and into private universities, teaching to undergraduate and postgraduate students. And today now I work. I'm back to corporate now, and I teach on YouTube, and I have more than 100K following over there. Uh, that was a little bit about myself. Since Aditya is not here, I'll just skip this slide because most of the time he's here. Today he was so busy, so he's not here. But me and Aditya share a long back relationship because we were in the same college, and so he was doing his BTech, I was doing my PhD program. So we used to bond really good in our free times, during after the classrooms. So I'll give you a little brief about Prithvi and about High Counselor, and then we'll move to the project. Okay.
Yeah.
Aditya and Rani, who started this company back in 2020, we just started with three candidates, and the main goal was to help people land into job into US, because we know that most as an international student, or even for people, although 2020-21 was a different type of phase, this is the right now we are seeing a different kind of phase. But we raised our first investment in 2021. We placed more than, in just 1 year of time, we placed more than 100 plus candidates. We raised like by Silicon Valley investors with $2.1 million as our seed fund, and then today we are happy that we have placed more than 600 plus candidates, and the numbers goes on, right? uh, so what are the main challenges why we started this company, and what are the key challenges we address, is
Yep.
that most of the people struggle to land into job, and as Prithvi also told that When you have lack of experience, it becomes more difficult. And when you sometimes you do get interview opportunities and you're not able to crack it. Sometimes you are not able to get interview opportunities because you are not good at networking, or you're not able to crack the code that how we can connect with people. So we started this high counselor by coming up with an ecosystem, which is more like a 360-degree ecosystem. We try to help our candidates in every possible way, right? We fix their resume, we look into their LinkedIn accounts, we try to offer them internship and projects from our side. We provide all our industry expert and mentorship for them. We provide them some kind of upskilling courses also. Recently, we provided one course on AI also for to all our candidates. And we, apart from this, we also have certain tools which help people to apply to as many jobs as possible. It is a matching tool or auto application tool which really helps you, and we also help you with email networking. So these are the certain things which we do as high counselor. So right now we are only catering to stream of candidates. So if you are into software and looking for any role like full stack, front end, software engineering, iOS, Android developer, we can help you out in that. Or if you are into anything into data analyst, business analyst, ML engineer, data engineer, we can help you in that also. So these are the two categories right now in which we operate. Let's talk about a little bit about our pricing. So, as we know that without landing into a job, it is very difficult to pay anything to anyone. So, we generally work on ISA agreement and income sharing agreement, and we do not charge anything as upfront. We only ask for any kind of amount of money once you land into a job. So, we provide all our services completely free to any candidate till the time he land into a job. And once they land into a job, there are two plans for it. One is the starter one, and the other one is advanced one. So in the starter package, you're supposed to pay $10,000 to us, which is 9% of your monthly income. And in the advanced plan, you're supposed to pay $15,000 to us once you land into a job. The first week of the program is completely free. And these are the differences we have for the starter and difference. Obviously, advanced plan has everything, and as unlimited access to our platform and mentorship and everything. On the other side, the starter package do have certain limitations because it obviously the price is less. These are some of our old candidates who recently or in the last 2 years they have graduated through high counselor. They came and they joined in, we helped them and they landed into job into different platforms, different companies. You can read their reviews on highcounselor.com/reviews. And how do we apply to our application process? Let me explain you that also. So we only help US candidates. So if you are eligible to work in US and you are physically located in US, we then only will be able to help you. Although live project is a different thing, we'll come to you. We'll come to it after this. Okay. So go to highcounselor.com. That is our landing page, and you can apply to our upcoming cohort and you'll start your application. Very simple process. You can go and I'll show you on website also. Just go to highcounselor.com. Very simple. And once you come here, you can just see apply to upcoming cohort. Click on here and you can start your application. The next cohort will start on 19th August. Just start your application, fill in the form, we'll review your application, and once we find you right fit for our program, we'll definitely admit you. Okay, so let's come down to the project. So over to you. If you can, if you want to share your screen, Prithvi, I
Yeah.
can start sharing. Okay, wait.
Okay. I'll just share that. I'll just get into the project module. Okay.
Okay, I'll just let me just stop sharing my screen. Yeah. So now
Yeah.
you can share your screen and
hmm Okay. I'll just get into the. Oh, sorry about that.
in the meanwhile, guys, you can always post your comments related to projects, related to career. Prithvi is here, so we can ask as many questions as possible. And once the project demo is over, we'll be able to take up your questions also.
Okay. Hey,
Yeah.
I need to get into that Discord, right? You're
You
that's.
just need to go to highcounselor.com and the projects platform, and you will be able to start from there.
Oh, okay, okay, okay. All right. Yep. hmm So here you go. I'm using what I'm yeah, I'm used to having a, a Mac, but I'm currently on my personal laptop, which is a Windows. So bear with me. Sorry about that.
No worries, no worries. Take your time. Don't worry.
Okay. Are you all seeing my screen at least right now?
Yeah, I can see your screen.
All right. So I'm on the platform right now. So if you get into the platform here, right? So you go into SQL for Fashion. So what is this? What is the SQL for Fashion project? So it's about utilizing SQL here to kind of analyze. So specifically for supply chain analytics, right? And this coming from an industry where in the retail industry where supply chain is key, right? Because product has to move from warehouses. Product first has to come to a warehouse. From a warehouse it has to go to the store, and then from the store, that's when it has to be maintained, and then it has to be sold, and it has to be adequately stocked, right? So this whole process is a very efficient process, and it has to stay efficient also. So, and how do you do all that? So with time it's become a lot more data intensive. So for this project essentially, right, so what we want to utilize here is we want to utilize SQL to analyze product performance, sales patterns, supply chain efficiency, and then identifying any kind of key patterns, right, trends, as well as any kind of actionable insights. So what we want to do is we want to develop strategies, right? So using data, develop strategies to kind of enhance business operations, streamlining supply chains, as well as improving efficiency at the same time reducing the cost. Because it's always about two things in a business, right? How can we use data to reduce costs? That means by reducing costs, increasing profitability, or else increasing sales and hence increasing revenue. So that's what it is. So all these data recommendations can help the company increase profitability and position the company for success in a competitive market. So once you get on here, right, so we have various project modules. So the first module, and let me get onto this, and then uh, yep, I'm on.
Yeah, it will just take. Yeah.
Yep. So so what you have to do here, right? So as I was mentioning, so you imagine that you are in charge of a small company that's selling that fashion beauty products, right? So you get a lot of these questions every time. Okay, how do you run your business? And the biggest thing is always about managing the supply chains. So what you want to do here is you have a lot of data, right? You have the supply chain data set CSV, right? So you can go and create your credentials for the MySQL using your credentials provided. Okay, once you do that, you access the database, right? So you can go into this database tab, access the database, and then from there you can just you can rename, and then you can run the test. Once you do that, you can also like even import, right? You can click on the import, and it can you can directly import the CSV in. And then once you do that, you have various modules. So the first module is about firstly, it's of course the first task is data downloads and all that. But the module one, the first module, that is task 1, 2, 3, 4, and then 8, 9, 10, it's going to be revenue and profitability analysis. So it's all about, okay, how can you basically do revenue analysis by product types, revenue analysis by locations, and then any kind of revenue contribution percentage, right? So from each location, like kind of a percentage of it. And then the second module is going to be stock and order management. So stock and order management is going to be about like, okay, fine, what is the stock levels for each of our products, right? The lead times for those products, so that we can always understand how much inventory is on hand, right? And then based on how much inventory is on hand, we can understand, okay, how much like product is ready for sale, and then we can make sure that there's enough stock for demand, and then accordingly for the sales. So that's what it is about. And 5, 6, 7 are just basically building on that, right? Order quantities, and then by the specific locations. And then task number 12 and 20 is also going to be the same. So task number 12, which is lead times, and then task number 20 being production volumes. So, and then aside from that, the next thing that we've also got is module 3, which is lead time and transportation analysis. So the lead time is going to be into details, like it's going to be into, okay, what is the average lead time? That is for how long does it take. So lead time essentially means how long does it take for a product to be ready for sale. That is like going from, say, a warehouse location, coming to the store to be sold. So all these things, so sometimes it may always like take longer than expected. So if it takes, like, for each product type, if it's taking longer than expected, so that means it just helps us understand, okay, these products take longer. So because these products takes longer, okay, what kind of steps can we take from our side to make it more efficient. And then 14 or 14, 15, 16, 17 are also going to be very, very around the lead time and transportation. Okay, are we able to, are we optimizing our routes? What are the common routes we're taking? How long is it taking on an average to take those routes? So details like that. And then after that, we have module 4, which is quality and inspection analysis. So this is also going to be this is also going to be a very important task, right? So naturally, when it comes to products, right, we always want it to be the best product. We want it to be of the best quality, because if it's not the best quality, naturally there are going to be more returns, and there are going to be more there are going to be lesser, it's going to lead to lesser customer satisfaction. So what we need to understand is, we want to understand correlation between inspection result and defect rates. So by understanding those, we want to effectively reduce the defects, improve, and then we want to improve on product qualities. The final tasks here are, so average defect rate by product. So that, see, sorry about that. Uh, uh, so mhm, yeah. So 18 and 19, yes, as I mentioned, are specifically around like defect rate analysis by product, as well as like inspection result and manufacturing cost. So by understanding all these details, we want to come up with, okay, fine, like what is the average defect rate. We want to understand, okay, fine, what actionable steps can be taken to enhance overall product quality. The final tasks are going to be understanding, like, market demand and production alignment. So basically taking production volumes. Okay, for these products, this is our production volume. What is the market demand on this, right? Are we effectively meeting customer needs, right? Is this are we do we have the right, production volumes to meet the demand, right? Details like that. And then we want to also do it as a percentage, because it's always going to be a percent, as a total percentage. So that's what this project is about. And you can always feel free to reach out to me for any questions.
Okay. Thank you, Prithvi, for explaining the project in detail. So, guys, let me just give you a little more details about, since it's a competition. So, first thing, let me make it clear that all this project is completely free. Anybody can do it from any part of the world. This is not like our ISA program. So, it's a completely free project, and for the next 1 week, the project will be open on the platform. Okay, and you just need to, if you are a first time user on the platform, just create your account, free account, and you can access this project and you can complete this project. Okay, so just let me just explain you one or two more things, and then we can move on and we'll take up certain question. In the meanwhile, if you can take this question, which is,
Yeah.
yeah, you can see it on the screen now.
Yeah. Okay. As a fresher, with so for so one is, okay, for not getting shortlisted. So it again, Nidhi, here it depends on, it's twofold, right? So one is, it is friendly resume. You have multiple projects, but what have you in those projects, right? Are you mentioning what was the kind of value you added to those projects? That's going to be key here. It's not just that, okay, you have an ATS friendly resume, you've listed multiple projects, right? I would always say, have like your 3 or 4 best projects, right? Your top quality projects, talk about them in detail, right? Okay, this was the situation, this was the task, this was the action, and this was the result. Okay, so say that, okay, I this enabled, like take the SQL project, for example, that we're talking about. So you're doing like supply chain analytics. So you analyzed, so are we effectively, just going to my last point, are we effectively analyzing production volumes to meet demand? Right, so where is the what is the effective like effectively, are we able to do that? Were you able to come to a recommendation? So say we our product production volumes are 90%, demand is it's meeting 90% of the demand. That is a great insight. So mention more of those metrics, and mention those kind of actionable recommendations on your resume.
Okay. So just to explain you, once you come to this project platform, you log into your account, you go to this project. Although Prithvi has explained you each and every task, I will just add this project. And once this project get loaded, just to explain you two, three things, that since this is a competition, we do have a leaderboard also. And if you make it to the top of the leaderboard, you will be featured in the on the Times Square. That is the winning prize for anybody who makes it to the leaderboard. So, and some of our old people who participated into this event, all our projects, they were featured. So we'll be featuring you also if you are part of this. Apart from this, if you face any difficulty or any issue, you can go to this Discord link. I'll just show you. So this is our Discord link. I'll just post it in the comment section so that you can go to this link for any query. If you face any issue, any doubt, you can go to this platform. So I've just posted this link over here. So you can access this and you can post your queries over there. Our team is there. Our mentors are there. So they will help you out in this. Okay. Okay. So the project is almost done. Yeah. So it started. So once I open the sandbox, okay. And there are certain premium features also available on this platform. Although the project is completely free, but let's say somebody wants to do more projects on a platform, they want to take the help of our AI assistant, so they can take the subscription of the platform as well. Okay. But right now, once you get into the project side, you can see this button. This is the leaderboard. So you can see the leaderboard who is already doing which task, which person is completed. So Pankaj right now is doing projects, has already started doing this project on this platform. So in this way, you can also start doing your project on this platform. You can see this. Okay. Apart from this, we also have this option of any issues if you face. Let's say you want to share it with your friends, so you can copy this link and you can share it with your friends as well. Okay, so that they can also participate with you. If you want to share it on LinkedIn, we have already pre-written posts over here, so you can copy these, you can just modify it and you can post it and share it with LinkedIn as well. Okay. So that's it. I guess I have explained each and everything. And this is our Discord channel right on the top. So you can just click on this and you can post any query if you are facing on this project. You can just share it on our Discord channel and we'll be happy to resolve your queries. So this was all about the project part, and now we'll be happy to take up any questions if you have. Okay.
There are in fact a lot of questions that have come up, Amit.
Okay, I'll just take up one by one. So I guess we take up this one. Then we have everybody says, could you please make the browser? Okay, we have already done that. When you say I increase the sales percentage by 30%, what does that mean? I guess he's asking.
uh, I think it's come he's come like one question down after your
Okay, this was the question. Have
yeah. Yeah. So, okay. So, if you're to define such a number, right? So, naturally, when you've done some kind of analysis, right, you've done that analysis. What you're doing here is effectively providing an opportunity, saying that, okay, fine, by the data showing me so much. So, by understanding that, okay, the data is showing me this much, this is the recommendation and the strategy that I'm giving you that can have that's the overall opportunity that you're unlocking, if that makes sense.
okay, yeah, I guess. Okay, this is the next question, which says, is it possible to find a remote job for a US based company as analyst from India?
All right. So Neelam, okay. At least from what I've seen, right, in the last few years, right, during COVID time, it looked very possible to get those kind of jobs. But what is happening now is many times like companies put stuff like, okay, fine, remote US. So that means they have that expectation that that you're going to be remote in the US. Because what is happening now is they still want like these quarterly meetups and all that. So naturally, if someone is in the US, it just becomes easier to have those kind of meetups.
I guess
Uh,
uh, most of the companies have went to the hybrid model, and that is the reason why it would be a little difficult now to just land. Although companies like us, like we are a startup, we do hire people in India, right? Uh, so so you can look for such kind of opportunity if you see somewhere, right? Can you provide a list of any project that weighs more than most as a data analyst? I guess that is a very like it's difficult like to go. Yeah, what is your take on this, Prithvi?
So my take, so anything that weighs your resume more as a data analyst, I would say it's any kind of project means take something very complex from you have like stuff on projects, this project platform itself, right? So high counselor offers so many different projects, right? I wish I had this breadth and depth of projects when I was graduating of it. uh,
uh, Trust me, we never like when we also thought of this idea, this is not our primary business. If you look at this,
yeah,
we offer this platform because we wanted to help, and right now we are giving it free to universities.
yeah,
We have tied up with a lot of universities, and we are giving it free to the universities so that their students can come over here and they can practice,
yeah.
because we have now more than 100 plus project for the role of data analyst or data scientist. So you're most welcome to this, come to this platform, and you can do as many projects as possible, and you can build your profile.
Yeah, but my thought process here, build as many projects. I would always say take like three or four good quality, like do some of the intermediates, right? So if you're already strong on SQL skills, like take three, four projects from the intermediate on the High Counselor platform. Do those properly. Those you post onto your resume. So when you post those onto your resume, that can that really would help you out.
I
That's
guess this is a very similar question, Srija. We just answered this question, that list of projects, and you have applied for 400 jobs. I know people who have even applied thousands of jobs right now.
yeah.
So we are in such kind of market where that is what anybody can do. That you can just customize yourself. You can look at the job description properly, match it with your skill set, and apply. That is what you. That is what is in your control. After that, nobody knows what is going to happen. Okay, I have over 10 years of experience into supply chain management and currently transitioning my career role, I guess very similar to, and I have completed like Google Data Analytics certificate, also actively adding projects to my role. Do you have any suggestions to stand out in this field?
Hmm. Okay, so my first thing would be, right. So if you have 10 years of supply chain, that's excellent. So you already have a lot of, you're naturally already analyzing a lot of data in the supply chain because it's supply chain is all driven by data ultimately. But if you want to transition to a data analyst role, my suggestion would be in these kind of scenarios is to mainly first start within your company itself, for the simple reason being that internal mobility within a company is always going to be your easiest task. So by which time, say you've built like 2 3 years of experience as a data analyst in your current company, so that means you already had the requisite experience to kind of like really position you for such a role. But if you're really still like trying to look for moving out of your company, I would say for talk in your resume about, of course, your Google Data Analytics certificate, some of your projects, but essentially your work experience in supply chain, try to make it very like data focused, saying that, okay, you analyze this kind of data to build on these kind of that helped you on, say, stuff like vendor negotiation costs, the purchase order efficiency, details like that.
Okay, so I guess Prithvi has answered in a detailed manner about it. And if you want to transition, Milton, with such kind of experience, you can always join our ISA program. We'll be happy to help you out. We have helped all a lot of such candidates. Hi Prithvi, I'm a civil engineer graduate. I done my PGP into data science. From past few months, I'm not getting any calls. Please give some insight to get calls. I guess networking, that would be the
Yeah.
first thing I would recommend. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, that's always my recommendation, Amit. Many times that people go ahead apply to like 400 jobs, right? But for those 400 jobs, firstly, how aligned is your resume to such a role, right? Because I don't think there's a one size fits all kind of model here. So what I recommend is always effective networking. So when I mean by effective networking, you use your LinkedIn, you find people, right? Like say for instance, like okay, you want to look at say Google, you're looking at a role at Google. So you want to find someone who's like say a data analytics manager. Try to set up a coffee side chat. But it's again goes back to what I said from the beginning. So you send it out to, instead of applying to 400 jobs, you send it out to 30 different people. There's a chance 3 or 4 people
Yeah.
may do it. So that is a way better conversion rate than 400 to almost just one interview call.
And I guess the networking also, the way people do it, they just send like requests, or maybe so many requests come to you also, might be coming
Yeah,
to my LinkedIn account, but not everybody is going to go and read those messages. So we
yeah,
need to be very have a customized approach in that. Just look it
uh,
from this way, that if even if we are meeting someone on an offline mode, you will always pass a smile rather than directly asking for a
a
job
referral.
or a
Yeah,
referral, right? I'll not go to my neighbor's house by saying that, hey, I'm your neighbor and give me this, right? I'll just pass my smile. I'll try to network with him. Then only we can be good friends, right? So I guess offline and online networking remains the same.
yeah.
It's just the mode is different. So try to do it in a more customized way. You will get better results.
Absolutely. That's what I mean by, so say you're sending out 30. You don't directly tell people, oh okay, fine, can you refer me for a role? Because that's never going to work, because if they don't know you, they're not going to, they wouldn't have a reason to refer you.
So if you're facing any issue with the platform, just go to the Discord link and just post it over there. Our team will look into it. Don't worry about it. Does my civil engineering degree is not getting a call? I guess that is not the reason. I mean, that should not be a reason. Everybody can have a different background.
Yeah, I had a mechanical engineering background.
Yeah. And most of us, like when I also shifted to management, I still believe you do get questions that why you are shifting and all, but that doesn't mean that people will not call you.
Of course. Yeah.
As everyone recommends about star methodology for showcasing the project, is there any method to draft the work experience? I guess it also has a similar kind of method, no?
So, like, okay, using star methodology for showcase.
So he's asking that, like how do we explain our experience into our
Oh,
resume?
yes, yes, yes. Sure. So, how do you, okay, so when I mean by star, right? So, you're going to naturally say you have your work experience. For example, when I was at Cognizant. So, what was the situation? I was given this task of building out kind of like managing this application to kind of like become make the bank's application more GDPR compliant. So that was kind of like my situation. What was the task involved in that? I had to kind of like curate data, enhance like the data quality and details like that for that application. So that was my task. So what was the action I took? I wrote code. I utilized their platform, their legacy enterprise legacy systems for banking. On the softwares, I wrote multiple code lines of codes, right? I developed kind of the I kind of wrote programming languages to develop that. What was the result of that? We achieved 100% what is called the GDPR compliance. I hope that was a great kind of a methodology of how to do it.
Okay. If you have already joined the Discord channel, just take the screenshot, whatever message you are getting, and post it over there. Okay. Thing is, I have already how I can build a network of professionals and how it might help into. So I guess how it might help you is by meeting those people, building that connection, and they might refer you, and then asking for a referral at some stage after meeting them. How to build a network? That could be a good question.
Yeah, sure. So what I've done here, right? So see, I've recently I started becoming more active on LinkedIn. So I started
Uh,
becoming more active on LinkedIn. Yeah. Sorry, did you hear me or
yeah,
did I
yeah.
cut off?
Kindly repeat. We lost you in the in between.
Oh, sorry, sir. Yeah. So what I was saying was that see, when it comes to networking, especially on LinkedIn and stuff, what you have to do is what I found very useful is constantly posting. Right, constantly posting on LinkedIn, being consistent. Right, I recently got what is called a top BI voice badge, so that showed me as a thought leader. So a lot of these things really help you build more credibility. it shows that you kind of it shows you as a kind of like a thought leader, as someone who's becoming an expert in this field. So that's also a great way I found it to be.
Okay, so one question I'm getting on this one. Do you have any idea? I don't have any idea on this. PL 300 exam and DP 203 exam.
i'm not uh,
What?
I'm not so familiar with these.
Uh, if you can give us a little more detail about it, then maybe we'll be able to answer it. I have a work experience of almost 3 years as a consultant into Mindtree and completed masters into big data analytics from India this year. During this time period, uh, interned in Kellogg's. Okay, then moved to US recently. Just wanted to ask what kind of jobs is best suited for me to apply and have a best chance of getting an interview.
Oh, fantastic. Okay, firstly, that's a great profile, right? And if you have both data engineering, data science resume, Akshada, so what my suggestion would be is to try for both of these kind of positions, right? Because data engineering and data science, of course, is going to have a lot more competition, but data engineering typically doesn't have as much competition as a data science role, at least from what I know.
And I guess there are less number of jobs also in data engineers as compared to data analyst, data scientist or data analyst.
Amit, that point I wouldn't completely agree with. I would say that data engineers. So what is happening is now with more onset of AI, you
Hmm.
need more robust data quality. Data quality is becoming such a big ask in companies today, because if the data quality is not robust, AI is not going to give you good recommendations.
Obviously.
So naturally you need more data science, data engineering capabilities. So
Hmm.
it is definitely there.
I'm a BBA July 24 graduate, upskilling, learning data analytics tools, doing projects. Can you give effective networking tips apart from just commenting on posts created by people, genuine connection? As I come from a BBA background, how difficult would be to land into a brutal job market due to my graduation? So my first question would be: are you in US or are you in India? That is very important because they both have different market scenarios. So and apart from Prithvi, any take on that?
Yeah, see, aside from whether India or not, right? So if you're talking about effective networking tips, right? So you've been doing data analytics tools, you've been doing projects. So you've mainly been commenting on posts and to have those genuine connections. How much have you been posting as well? So it's twofold. One is commenting on posts. Second is also kind of like you also posting some of your projects. You do a project, you post those. Okay, what was the project I did? What was the problem I solved? What was the insight I generated? So I see some of these posts come up, and some of those it really showcases to me. If I was a hiring manager, I would really be interested to talk to such people.
And I guess one tips which I would like to give you is today we are in a phase where personal branding matters a lot, right?
Yep.
So the if Prithvi is saying you to post, that means not only just sharing random post, but also sharing some thoughtful post where people will be interested to know what is your take on something, right? So create some unique content that can be helpful rather than just taking article from here and there and posting it, because that would not attract a lot of people to your profile. uh, One question. Okay, he's in India right now. So I guess for Indian market, I would not say that would be difficult because in India there are a lot of startup companies right now who which do hire for this data role. So it is not difficult to enter. At least for an entry level job, you will be able to enter into that role, I guess. If you are coming from a non-data background with work experience, should that work experience be added to your resume while applying for data roles?
Hmm. So, okay, so if it's a non-data background, so it depends on firstly what kind of a background you have, Aditya, right? So if you can let us know like what kind of an experience you have,
Mhm.
accordingly, then we can see. Then accordingly, we can tell you, okay, fine. If you're gonna come from a completely different role, like say you're coming from like say you're coming from like whatever they say, rather technical writer roles, something like that. So if you come from that, then yeah, naturally you don't have the right one. So what I would say is, you mentioned that okay, you did some of that, but always overpower it with more with your projects. That's always going to be my suggestion.
Okay. Currently, I'm doing my master's in CS in US. If data visualization tool like Power BI is important in this role, uh, so what role you are targeting? You are targeting the role of a data analyst. If you can
So
mention that also. If you are targeting data analyst, I guess then Power BI is definitely helpful, or
yeah.
any dashboard tool.
So even Aditya, sorry, Amit. So even it's going to be for even a data scientist role, right? So even then Power BI is useful because you're trying to do EDA and all that stuff, exploratory data analysis. So it's good, right? So these kind of visualizations tools help you become more effective at what is called data storytelling, right? Taking your data and building a kind of a great story on it, right? So that's what data visualization tools like Power BI help you do. So it's definitely a great tool for those roles.
So Aditya is having a background into chemical engineering.
Okay, and you have a process. Okay, so if you have a chemical engineering and a process engineer background, Aditya, I think if you're a process engineer, it has a lot of overlap with data analytics because many times you're doing process optimization and things like that. So you definitely need a lot of data. So such roles definitely, building into BI and data analytics, it is not as challenging as you think it would be.
Okay, and Sandeep says, "What is how to clear the first recruiter round?" So it depends upon what round it is. It can be a HR behavioral round, telephonic round. So if you can just
Yeah.
be more specific, then only we'll be able to answer that. So we are already in the top of the hour, guys. So if you have any, we'll happy to take one or two questions more. Really appreciate Prithvi's time first. He has just all gone all hurt out to explain each answer in detail. And thank you, Prithvi. Thank you so much. I'm really like surprised to see your involvement. Trust me. It
Absolutely.
seems like you are the host, and I came here to to present my project.
Absolutely. I'm happy to do it, Amit.
Okay. Uh, so, guys, just to answer, if it is a telephonic round or it's a behavioral round, I would say that they always look into whether you are the right fit for the organization or not. So, kindly make sure that you explain them how you are as a person. Very simple. And if it's a technical round, then obviously you have to show your technical skills and make sure that you know all those coding questions if they are asking you that. Okay. One question coming up. What are the major concepts to learn to have a knowledge of a business analyst? And can you brief up more about business analyst position since you work in the same profession?
Sure. Okay. So business analyst, it's kind of like it's a lot more like a functional role, right? So it's more about like requirements gathering, stakeholder management, detail things like that. So and also what is called RCA, root cause analysis. So typically that's what a business analyst role entails. It's more stakeholder interview, stakeholder management. Okay, gathering requirements from stakeholders, passing it to technical teams. So that's kind of the role I do. It involves definitely data analysis, SQL, data profiling, things like that. So that those are your hard skills, as well as stuff like Tableau, Power BI. But your soft skills are more, effective communication, stakeholder management, stakeholder alignment, a lot of the conceptual things like root cause analysis. That's what it is about.
Okay, so I guess we are sorted on this one. I guess we have answered each and every question so far. For the PL 300, as we already know that we don't have the details of those course or exam, and that's why it is difficult to answer that question. Okay, what is the link of High Connect? This is not High Connect, this is High Counselor. Just go to www.highcounselor.com. Hi, Prithvi. Yeah, now
Okay.
this is the last question from our side, guys. I have 9 years of experience as data analyst. Does my master's recently, but not getting interviews call?
Okay, so it depends on, okay, fine. What is the kind of like roles you're trying for? So you're trying for maybe data analyst roles. You've done your masters recently. So in your 9 years of a data analyst, right? How, like, where it depends on, okay, firstly, where have you worked, right? What are the kind of roles you're targeting? How have you effectively explained those roles in your resume? And what is the kind of value you've added? So it's not just you having 9 years, Mary. It's also how have you listed the quality, the work in your resume. So that's what I would suggest you to see. Look at how you've put it on your resume.
And just to add it to Mary, if you are you want help in landing into a job, we can definitely help you through our ISA program. You can definitely apply if you are in US. we'll be happy to help you out, because this is kind of profile where we definitely can help you out. Okay, I guess we have already answered each and every question. Thank you so much for joining in, guys. Thank you, Prithvi, for your time. It was
Yeah,
pleasure meeting you. I'll be connecting back with you very soon, and we'll be coming up with more projects like this.
absolutely.
Thank you guys for joining in for today. And for 1 week, the project is open from right now. It's completely free. You can do it, complete it, share it to your own profile, download your certificate. Everything is available over there. Thank you, thank you, thank you, everyone. Thank you. Bye bye. Take care.
Have a great
Bye.
day.